All right, stuff I like.
This is Stuff Andrew Klavan likes.
That's a redo, rather a rerun from Brandon Toy. I like that one. Are we going to choose one of these? Do you think?
Yeah,
Should we
I
have
think
this?
we should do the next week or the next couple of weeks. We'll just do the favorites.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Halloween. I've been watching The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, and I'm really conflicted about it. I watched the first two episodes, and decided to stop. And I'll tell you what. First, let's talk about this. The Haunting of Hill House is one of the most famous haunted house novels ever written, and certainly probably the most famous written by an American, unless you count Henry James as an American. He kind of became a British subject after a while. And he wrote The Turn of the Screw, which is one of the most famous ones. But The Haunting of Hill House is just hugely famous, a wonderful book. And if you haven't read it, Shirley Jackson, she was just a tremendous writer. She wrote a famous short story called The Lottery, which everybody used to read in junior high school. I don't know if they do anymore. And she wrote We Have Always Lived in the Castle, one of my favorite Gothic novels. But The Haunting of Hill House, I guess, is her masterpiece. Listen to the opening of this. Every time they make a movie of this is the third filmed version of it. Every time they make a movie, they always put this in because it's so brilliant. This is the opening of the novel, first paragraph. No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Even larks and katydids are supposed by some to dream. Hill House, not sane, stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 80 years and might stand for 80 more. Within, walls continued upright, bricks met neatly, floors were firm and doors were sensibly shut. Silence lay steadily against the wood and stone of Hill House, and whatever walked there walked alone. What I love about this is you forget where it starts. By the time you get to that powerful last line of the paragraph, you forget that it starts, no live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. So what she's saying is this haunted house is in a condition of absolute reality. So the rest of us are actually not seeing ghosts. We are living in this fantasy world, which is just a brilliant kind of mind-bending concept. So they made this into one of my favorite ghost movies. I have two favorite ghost movies. One is The Innocents, which is The Turn of the Screw with Deborah Kerr, and it's written by Truman Capote. And it's just so subtle and so quiet and all about the characters and all about what is happening within the people, not about any boo stares, not about anybody jumping out. And the other is The Haunting, which is The Haunting of Hill House, 1963. Now, they remade it with Liam Neeson, and it was awful. They remade it in the 90s with Liam Neeson. It was just awful. But this is a wonderful, wonderful film. I've put it on Stuff I Like before. Produced and directed by Robert Wise and starring the wonderful Julie Harris and Claire Bloom. And here is a story. Julie Harris and Claire Bloom are sharing a room together, and it's dark, and Julie Harris starts to hear voices through the walls. And she grabs hold of Claire Bloom's hand because she's in the bed right next to her. And they're holding hands in the dark. And what you hear is Julie Harris's internal monologue.
I will take a lot from this filthy house for his sake, but I will not go along with hurting a child. No, I will not. I will get my mouth to open right now, and I will yell, I will yell, I will yell. Stop it!
What? What? No, what? God. God. Whose hand was I holding?
She wakes up, she thinks she's holding Claire Bloom's hand. She thinks she's in the bed next to her. She wakes up and the bed is moved across the room. And she says, whose hand was I holding? That to me is brilliant. That's like the scene in Paranormal Activity where they spread flour on the floor and they wake up and there are footsteps in the flour. You don't have to show people anything. It's just scary. It is scary to think of that. So what is driving me crazy about the Netflix version of The Haunting of Hill House is that they do scenes like that and then they ruin them with some big boo scare. And or some act of disgusting something, some bug crawling out, or not that. It's just the twisted faces and jumping out at you and all this. They do it so brilliantly, and then they ruin it with a jump scare. And I stopped watching it after two because it was driving me nuts, But Stephen King tweeted that he thinks it's a work of genius. He loves it. People are loving it. So I'm going to go back and try it again. Here is the brilliant, the trailer is brilliant because they show you a lot of the subtle stuff they do. They do all the subtle stuff that I love. I mean, they do stuff where, like, for instance, something will just be in the corner of the room and they won't even focus on it, which I just love that stuff. And then they'll blow it with some big jump, you know. And so I guess they're serving younger people who love that stuff, who don't like subtlety. But here's the trailer for The Haunting of Hill House. In any case, read the book because it's one of the great books. As a wonderful American novel, Shirley Jackson, wonderful American writer. Here's the trailer for the Netflix version.
Now I want you two to get good rest.
What if I have a bad dream?
Oh, I'm sure we can handle any dream you have.
What if I dream that you sent us away into the dark and we get hurt? Really hurt? And what if I'm so sad and scared of the dark out there that I put poison in me for years and years until my blood turns into poison and my heart breaks right in half and I can't feel anything happy? Till I can't stand it anymore and I have to die. Until I'm on a silver table with my jaw wired shut.
So it's got some spooky stuff in it. I'll go back and look at it again. If Stephen King has great taste in this stuff. I mean, he's the one who pointed me to The Little Stranger, one of the best ghost stories I've read recently. But read the book. Shirley Jackson's Haunting of Hill House is a wonderful short novel for Halloween that you'll really like. It's interesting to me that both The Haunting of Hill House and The Turn of the Screw are about sexually repressed women. And a lot of ghost stories are about women. It's really interesting. I mean, if you think of horror stories, The Exorcist is about a girl basically becoming a woman. It's basically about monarchy or first period is really what that movie is about. And Rosemary's Baby is about a woman giving birth and all that. Women are just scary, you know, their bodies change and it's all kind of weird. It's like, you're just a scary bunch of people, ladies. All right. Again, not a Klavanless weekend. Please, tomorrow, Another Kingdom Season 2, Episode 3 will be available to everybody. Go on to iTunes and subscribe and give it 5 stars. We really could use the support. It's doing very, very well. We're really happy with it, but we would like it to do even better. Or subscribe to dailywire.com and you can get the whole thing with the reads and everything. Also, if you're in LA, come to Politicon and I'll be there Saturday at 4 p.m. doing a panel entitled Draining the Swamp. I think Ann Coulter will be there with me. So anytime I get to sit next to Ann Coulter, it's a very dangerous situation for all of us. On Sunday, I'll be joining the rest of the guys at the Daily Wire. We'll do a town hall style event. If you can't come and watch it, you can go on and see it on dailywire.com and, maybe subscribe. It would be that would on Monday it'll be there for subscribers. All right, great. In the meantime, you've got me here sitting there talking to you. I'm Andrew Klavan. This is the Andrew Klavan Show. I will be back in this seat again on Monday.
The Andrew Klavan Show is produced by Robert Sterling. Executive producer, Jeremy Boring. Senior producer, Jonathan Hay. Our supervising producer is Mathis Glover. Technical producer, Austin Stevens. Edited by Alex Zingaro. Audio is mixed by Mike Cormina. Hair and makeup is by Jesua Alvera. And our animations are by Cynthia Angulo and Jacob Jackson. The Andrew Klavan Show is a Daily Wire Forward Publishing production. Copyright Forward Publishing 2018.